Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another edition of our summer webinar series. Today, we're joined by the Campus Safety Services team who will talk to you about their area momentarily. But before we do that, I just want to reintroduce myself. I'm Stephen Ponce. I'm your Director of Parent and Family Communication and Engagement. So I'm your resource where if you don't know where to go, I am that person for you all. Just to cover some logistics real quick, this webinar is being recorded just so that we can share it with those who aren't able to attend with us live today. We're going to be using the Q&A feature. If you don't see that at the bottom of your Zoom screen, just click the more button with the 3 dots. It should be in that panel. The chat and your ability to come off mute and show screen will be disabled throughout the presentation, but will be re-enabled at the end. So if you have any questions, please utilize that Q&A feature. I'll be monitoring that for our CSS team. And with that, I'm going to transfer it over to Leah to take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Nakasaki Peterson. I'm the Assistant Director for Parking and Transportation Services. Thank you all for having me. I just want to share a little bit of information about our department and services and how we can help you and your students. My apologies for not having my PowerPoint ready. I will make sure to share it with Stephen after this presentation. But Parking and Transportation Services, our team consists of 5 professional staff members as well as 8 student desk assistants. We serve the campus community in a variety of ways, answering any questions and concerns related to parking. We host several events on campus and help support several events on campus, including events of university importance such as commencement, welcome weekend, grand reunion, events like that. Making sure that our SU community, including our students, have parking permits at their disposal to park on campus. We also have many student engagement events where we support our community members. This is through tabling and other fun activities. Usually we will provide swag, giveaways, and food free of charge for all of our guests who attend. A big question that I think a lot of you might be interested in is our first year hardship policy. And so first years are typically not allowed to park on campus. It's advised that they don't, but in the event that they experience some type of hardship or a need to park on campus, we do have a first year hardship application available to students, and this can be applied on a quarterly basis. The hardship application is currently available on our website, and applications for fall are due by September 9th. And these are approved on a quarterly basis. So if your student is approved for fall, they would need to reapply for the winter and spring quarters if there is still a need. For second year students and above, they qualify to purchase a parking permit on their own via their Ames account. And this is a tile located in their MySU portal. One big question that I typically receive is, why do we enforce on campus? And so one of the main reasons is that we want to ensure that there are parking resources available to all of our permit holders and guests. And by doing that, the enforcement piece is an education tool for our campus community members to know where they can and can't park, and giving a warning or a citation is a way to do so. Who enforces parking on campus? It's typically members of my team, but with the help of Campus Safety Services as well. And then if your student receives a citation that they don't feel that they feel was wrongly issued, they are always able to appeal their citation online. And I'll make sure to include that link in the PowerPoint presentation. some of the resources that we have available in our department, we offer discounted tickets on ACE Train ticket sales. We offer those at a reduced price of 50% off. We also have an alternative transit program where we offer 5 free daily parking permits per month for guests who use alternative modes of transportation, such as taking the train, the bus, commuting to work by bicycle or skateboard, those types of things. We offer carpool incentives as well to those who are able to carpool with someone else. And we're looking into other ways to subsidize costs, for parking and transportation services. Always looking to partner with other individuals on that. I know that there was a question that was submitted, or a couple of questions that were submitted early, and I just want to make sure that those are addressed as well. So there was a question about motorcycle parking and where they're able to park. We have dedicated spaces for motorcyclists to park, and it does say motorcycle, and they're in our respective garages and service lots. Just want to make sure that everyone is aware a motorcycle would still be required to purchase a parking permit as well. It would be at a reduced rate, but it would be an M permit. And this would be for second years and above. If a first year student had a motorcycle, they would need to apply for the hardship permit to be approved for an M permit. And then I think there was also another question about how does my student get around campus if they don't have a vehicle? And so we have several options available. VTA, Caltrain, ACE, they pick up right across the street from El Camino and our main campus entrance. So those are highly utilized by our campus community members. We also have Zipcar rentals available for students, faculty, and staff at discounted rates. And then there's always rideshare options or riding with a friend who may have a vehicle. And then Stephen, that's the end of my presentation, but Stephen, I'm not sure if you wanted to save questions to the end or not.
Yeah, we'll just continue fielding questions as they come in, and then we'll save some time at the end to respond to any and then open up the floor. But for now, I think we can send it to Jake and he can take it from here.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Just want to welcome everyone to this webinar and to Santa Clara University in general. My name is Jacob Malai, and I'm the Assistant Director of Campus Safety Services. And I'm going to share my screen here as we start so that you can we can go over this PowerPoint together. So give me a second. Okay, everybody see my screen? Okay, good. All right, so this is my contact information. Like I said, my name is Jacob Malai, and I am the Assistant Director here at Campus Safety. My contact number, 408-554-5082. I've been here for about 3 years now. I love my job, love what I do, love the team I work with. Prior to this, I was in law enforcement for about 24 years, right across the street at Santa Clara PD. So retired from Santa Clara and came over to Campus Safety Services and haven't looked back. Let me talk about our goals for today. First and foremost, just want to welcome all the parents that are joining us today. And if there are any students on as well, welcome. We're happy to have you here as members of our community, new members of our community. Want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and know that you have joined a community that is super inclusive and super welcoming. And I just want to formally extend Campus Safety welcome to all of you. We also today want to provide kind of a general background of what we do here at Campus Safety, contact information, and then provide information relative to kind of what we do, our operation, and how we can best support not only your student, but also you as parents. And then we'll kind of end our slideshow with some of the frequently asked questions we get. And if there certainly are any questions from anybody in attendance. So who are we at Campus Safety Services? We're a group that collaborates across divisions and departments to support a diverse and inclusive university community in a manner that fosters safety and belonging and that encourages student learning and success. We operate 24/7, 365 days a year, serving the community of students, faculty, staff, alumni, as well as university guests. We're committed to Cura Personalis and remain steadfast in our role as collaborative partners in the holistic formation of our students. And what does that mean basically to us and for us? That's basically a fancy way of saying that we care and that we're here to support your student. I think it's super important for us to mention the safety piece, because obviously that's a big part of our name, campus safety. The bringing home of the good grades will remain a role that your student will have to take care of, but the campus safety part and providing an environment that allows them to thrive and to foster and to attain their specific goals, that's our job. And so we take that job very seriously, and we love what we do. So our team, basically we have a director. His name is Phil Beltran. He would not be opposed to me giving out his personal cell phone, because that's what he does at all parent orientation. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for him here. If you need us at any time, and I don't know that many other people do this as far as from a higher ed campus safety standpoint, but give out their personal cell phone if you need anything as a parent. It's a very rare gesture, and but it's something that is very important to Phil and to our team. So please take down the number that you see there, 408-772-2110. If you have any issues whatsoever with your student, I know there's probably some out-of-state folks joining us. Sometimes you worry late at night. Sometimes there are things that come up. If you need to get a hold of somebody and you can't, that number is always available to you. The other parts of our team, we have an assistant director. We have one office manager, 4 shift supervisors, 6 assistant shift supervisors, and 12 staff members. That makes up our campus safety group that basically is going to be responding to anything on campus that your student might need. We have various backgrounds and experience levels. We have people here that have been here for 30 years. We also have people that are newly hired. But the one thing that we have in common is a care and service commitment to our community. So service is very important to us, very big part of what we do. It's kind of where we start in terms of priorities. And so I can promise you that when your student arrives on campus, they will be well taken care of. We also have, under the auspices of campus safety, the Office of Emergency Planning, Tyler Massamori, who'll be talking to you in just a minute. And you just heard from Leah, who's the assistant director from Parking and Transportation. Our role as campus safety, like I said, service, support, and safety. We take all 3 of those things very seriously, and we love what we do. We're very committed to those things, and each of our teams show up each and every day with those 3 things in mind. So we're here to support your student again and to help keep the community safe. We do that from a 24/7, 365-day perspective. Even when kids are not here, our students are not here, we are here. And like over the summer here, we've been preparing for this upcoming fall. So all holidays, at night, overnight, if you ever need anything, I'm going to give you a number here in just a second. You can call our dispatch center and you'll get a live voice, and they'll be speaking to you, get you whatever you need in the moment. So please take down the number when I give it to you here in a couple slides. Four teams that work 12-hour shifts, just kind of an understanding of how we work. We have 4 teams, 12-hour shifts, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So we're here all the time. We work across divisions to support student well-being and success, which basically means that we work with entities from across the campus landscape. We work with Res Life, we work with housing, we work with facilities, we work with professors and student life. We work with a number of different school entities to help support your student in the best way possible. We also do that with our community partners, first responders, to help maintain a safe environment. We are a non-sworn group. So we are not a police agency. We don't make arrests. We don't do anything that you would imagine a police staff would do. We are a safety and security team that works collaboratively with emergency partners to help provide a very safe and responsive environment for your students. Our core values are service professionalism, integrity, resourcefulness, and empathy. And we take all those things very seriously. And each one of our staff members are committed to those 5 things as they go out and serve your student and the campus in general. Some of the things we can assist with, you're going to hear from your students at times. Hey, I got locked out of my room, couldn't get in. We help with that. Lost and found. We have a pretty robust lost and found. We're kind of the community lost and found for the campus. Elevator assistance. Yes, sometimes people get stuck in elevators. We do handle that as well in facilitating the repair and the response to those types of issues, especially if you're in a building like SWIG or, some of the other buildings that have elevators. We respond to that all the time, or not all the time, but throughout the year. Safety escorts. We provide safety escorts both in our staff or from our staff and also through Safe Walk, which is a student-led initiative, and which provides escorts at night to community members who call a phone number. We also, you can see the list: vehicle assistance, crime reporting, event planning and security assessments. We do those for larger events. We host commencement here on campus, both law and regular commencement. We also have concerts on site and other community events that campus safety spearheads event planning with emergency operations. Safety trainings, we provide safety trainings upon request. And that we do that for every part of the community, whether it's staff, whether it's professors or students. We provide safety trainings pretty regularly. We liaison between students. We help facilitate the liaison process between students and our emergency partners. So we have a really good relationship with our emergency partners at Santa Clara Police Department and the Santa Clara Fire Department, both of whom are very close. I don't know if everybody here on the call has been on campus, but Santa Clara PD is literally across the street, and so is the nearest fire department. So we work regularly with them. We just recently had a 4-day training where they were on our campus dealing with active threat, both fire and police. So we work collaboratively with them. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my mouth. Other than that, general information, we're always available to answer questions. So if people call our dispatch center, we will never, just hang up on you and not answer your questions. We do our best to try and point you in the right direction minimally. We get calls all the time from all over the place that don't really have a lot to do with campus safety. We always take those calls with the utmost care and push them forward to whomever should be dealing with that call. So feel free to call that number, this number that I'm going to show you if you can't figure out any other place to call. Last thing is we have a website, and the website is listed there at the bottom. Frequently asked questions. I addressed this a little bit in our earlier in a slideshow. Are you the police? No, we're not the police. So please share with your students that we're not. We are a non-sworn safety security group that is charged with keeping your students and the campus in general safe, made up entirely of non-sworn staff members, including leadership. Who employs CSS? CSS, we get this question sometimes as if we're separate and apart from the university. We are actually employees of the university and members of the Bronco community. So we are part of the Bronco community. And we do the best we can to regularly engage with the community at large. And so you'll see us at different events that have nothing to do with campus safety, just so people see us and become familiar with us and our staff. Can CSS arrest me or search my room? We get that question sometimes. We cannot arrest, so that answer is no. The search my room part, yes, under certain conditions we can, but I would refer you to your housing agreement for further information. And if you have specific questions, I'll certainly answer those offline. And do you provide a safety escort? Yes, absolutely. Staff members, safe walk escorts are available, and it's actually quite common. We escort people all the time at night. Who should we call in case of emergency? This is a unique question that I think needs to be passed along to your student. If there's a true emergency, it's always good to remember to call 911. Because if you need a police officer or you need a fire, or you need fire personnel, or you need an ambulance or something like that, 911 is the best way to contact those three entities. It's always a good practice to contact us as well during those instances. But if it's an emergency, you should call 911. Any other issue that you're having that's not emergency, call us. We'll be happy to help you out. And there's our number, Campus Safety Services, 408-554-4441. And that's the direct link or direct numbers to our dispatch center. And if there's any other questions, I see there might be questions in the chat. We'll save these for the end, Steve.
Yep, we'll just save them for the end. That'd be great.
Okay, that's it for me for right now. I'll pass it along to Tyler. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Jake. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyler Masamori. I am the university's emergency planning manager, and I do work out of campus safety. I wanted to briefly go over the website that was created for emergency planning, and it really was a collaborative effort that is a one-stop shop for all things. And so, can everybody see that okay? Perfect. Okay. So as we look at this, the job of emergency planning really is preparedness. And while it's not as in-depth as this wheel might imagine, preparedness is a big goal of this entire effort that we're putting forth. We really want to make sure that all the students feel that they have the resources and the tools that they need to just go about their day. Our job in the background is to work to make sure that throughout their day that it is safe, that they have access to those tools and they are aware of those resources. So one of the main ones is this website. It was created as kind of a one-stop shop. So from anywhere from air quality to temperature to power outages to even in California, unfortunately, wildfire season, for smoke information. So for example, if we had wildfire smoke that was impacting the health and safety of the campus community, not only would we send out alerts, but there would be a myriad of communications regarding forecasting levels and different types of things that might impact the students day to day. So in the chat, I placed the link to emergency planning. So if you wanted to follow along or just look at the shared screen. Another important factor that we do here in California is earthquake awareness and preparedness. So annually, we do a Great Shakeout earthquake drill. And that incorporates a lot of the technologies that we have, including SU Bronco Alert, which I'll talk about in a minute here. But we send out all modes of communications that we have available. So we do text, we do email, we do voice, and we do something called Giant Voice, which is the Blue Phone network across campus. Several of those phones have speakers on top, and what those speakers do, they allow us to coordinate a recorded voice or a live voice that announces the situation going on. So we have a recording for Great Shakeout that is a drop, cover, and hold on. And then we do it also in Spanish. So we have a bilingual version of that. And it really brings awareness to what to do if an earthquake hits. 2 years ago, we had the shakeout, and then 5 days later, we had a mild earthquake that happened. So it just goes to show that preparedness is never something that we can plan for, but we hope that the tools that we're providing can help the students and all that they're doing on campus. And so SEO Bronco Alert, which I'll put the webpage in the chat, that is our main means of communication during emergencies and some non-emergency situations to the entire campus. Every single active student, staff, and faculty member is automatically signed up for SEO Bronco Alert. And if, as parents or guardians, you wanted to sign up independently and receive the text messages as well, I'll put that in the chat, and that's how you do that. It is subscription based. So when your son or daughter graduate from university, you would need to unsubscribe yourself, or you can send me a message and I can do that for you. The one caveat is that not every single alert that we will send will also go to SEO Parent Alert. These alerts are relegated for some of the larger scale, regional and local impactful emergencies that might happen, and not the lower level safety bulletins and maybe information bulletins that we might send out about events or commencement. But some of the larger scale incidents that could happen on campus or around campus that we would want the parents to get the most direct information that campus safety has immediately, that might assuage anybody from calling in and maybe meeting a phone line that is busy as we answer it the best we can in terms of how the calls come in. So if you do have any questions about Parent Alert, please let me know. But all you need to do is text 226-787, which is campus, and SEO Parent Alert. It doesn't have to be in all caps, but that would enable your subscription right away. An additional message about the alert system that we have is we are bound by the Clery Act compliance law. And that's a law that was founded federally a number of years ago about crime statistic capabilities and how we gather those crimes, and also how we are sending out alerts. So we have emergency notifications and timely warnings that we do send out immediately as soon as all the facts are made known to campus safety or the police department or the fire department. So we can get that information out quickly to our campus community to make sure that they are prepared as best they can for what's to come. As Jacob mentioned, we are a 24/7 operation, so we have the ability to send out the alerts at any time of day. But we also have the ability to answer questions that might come from these alerts. So we are monitoring the text message responses. So if your student happens to be in a classroom and they respond to the alert text that is asking for more information, we have the ability to find that response individually and reach out to the student, or again, individually, and respond to them in kind in a timely manner. So that's, it may not seem as a two-way communication in terms of the alert being sent, but it definitely is, and it's an important piece of our response network. And one of the last components of SEO Bronco Alert that I wanted to finish up with is SEO Guardian, or the Rave Guardian app. And this app is a companion piece to SEO Bronco Alert. It's a free app that you can download. And one of the things that it does is bring complex information into a single resource location on your phone. So for example, if you are in a situation where you call or initiate an emergency call to campus safety or to 911 and you do it through the app, automatically your location is shared with campus safety. Even if your location settings are set to off, a general location is sent to campus safety. If the location settings are set to on, so you'd use it for your map feature if you're doing wayfinding on a commute trip or a vacation, we have the ability to find out where you are. So it's another layer of protection that we're able to offer the students. And it also has features like a safety timer. So if you wanted to walk without an escort from the library to the parking garage, and you can set the safety timer. So your student doesn't check in within the allotted number of minutes, maybe 10, that the campus safety is made aware, or designated guardians, and maybe a parent is made aware that they did not check in. So it's another type of safety beacon that we utilize in the alert atmosphere. And then finally, there is a chat feature. So whether it's an emergency or a non-emergency or just an inquiry into maybe when the office, transportation is open, when their office is open, those questions come in and we are able to answer them 24/7. So it's a fantastic app that's always being tweaked and added to in terms of feedback and some of the best practice features that we find at other institutions. And really, it is a safety beacon for all of our campus community to use, as smartphones are pretty ubiquitous and everybody usually has one on them. So just to wrap it up, I want to thank you each for just participating and making it this far in the webinar. But if there are any questions at all, please let me know. I think there's some in the Q&A, so we'll save those to the end, like Stephen said, and thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I will help field these Q&A to the right people. Just so you all know, our attendees, you do have access to unmute, raise your hand, come off video, or come on video now if you would so choose, but continue using that Q&A box or chat feature if you would like. To kick us off, Jake, first question is like, what are limits to the escort services? Will they escort from off-campus houses? And if so, to what distance from campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. Generally, we track a mile usually. A mile off campus is normal for us. If it's a special circumstance or situation, I mean, we have the opportunity or the ability to go farther. But our general rule is a mile from the campus proper, extending outward.
Okay, so a follow-up to that is, will you provide an escort from the train station right across the street in case they come back at like 2 a.m. or something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just give our dispatch center a call, and we're happy to meet someone where they are and escort them back from the train station. Or that's probably a common one. We also have places in the other direction that we do that for. And you mentioned limitations earlier. So that's the distance limitation. As far as a time limitation, we don't have really a time limitation. We do it all hours of the day and night. So yeah, just have whomever just give us a call and we're happy to help.
Cool. And then the next question is, how quick is your response time?
Another good question. So because we're here on campus and because each team has, as part of its makeup, a team member or team members whose responsibility is to respond to issues on campus. I don't know if everybody on the call has been on campus. The campus is beautiful, but it's not overly big. And where we are located in the main parking garage, we can get to most places if we're coming from there pretty quickly. We have a golf cart. We have little like mini. They're not really segways, but they're those kinds of transportation modes. And we also have trucks and SUVs that can get us to different places on campus pretty quickly. But that's if we're coming from an office. Presumably we'll be out and about because that's what those folks would do on a normal shift, be out and about.
Okay, and then I have a follow-up question that I've heard from several parents over the year. What's an example of a non-emergency call that a student might make? And what about an example of what a parent might make?
Yeah, example of a non-emergency call would be like, somebody's in Mali, the kind of the athletic facility, and they are playing basketball and they sprain their ankle. That's a non-emergency call. And that's something we get quite frequently. And in that instance, a call to campus safety would be appropriate. We have an EMS group or EMT group that works with us. They're student led, but they would respond to that along with campus safety. And then, if we needed to contact fire to issue, further care, that would be the next step. But that's an example of a non-emergency call. Or another example would be, hey, somebody just walk into the dorm that I don't know. They haven't really done anything, but I don't think they live here. that's a non-emergency call, but it's definitely a call that we want to hear about from campus safety perspective. That's a non-emergency call. Conversely, an emergency call would be, someone's being actively assaulted right now. That's a real quick example of an emergency call. Somebody that's been missing, and they're in danger, and they've expressed that to others. That's an emergency call. And I can provide more examples, but I mean, generally, you guys get the idea.
Yep. And so those emergency calls go to 911 first, and then you guys, right?
Yeah, any of the emergency calls should go to 911, but like I mentioned, they should also contact campus safety when available, when they're able to, because it's important for us to know, what's happening with that situation as well, because we might have information that we can help provide to the police department, the fire department, or whomever. Yeah, so.
Perfect. That's all for you, Jake, right now. Please continue to submit questions. One did come in, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Leah, someone asked earlier, I think you answered it via the Q&A, but it says, can you describe more on how a student is eligible for ACE discount tickets, how to obtain them? They asked a follow-up about like an application, or do they just show up to your department? Can you address that?
Yeah, there's no application for it. You would just show up to the department, show your access card or mobile credential, and then we can get you the pass that you're looking for.
Before we go back to Jake, so he has a second to drink his coffee, Tyler, a question I've heard from parents over the last year is, how often will they get Bronco alerts if they subscribe?
For the SU Parent Alert, thankfully, it's a great tool to have, but thankfully it hasn't been often at all. We haven't had, and I will knock on all the wood, a large enough scale incident, earthquake or what have you, to necessitate something on the Bronco Alert for parents. We have had Bronco Alerts sent out for some smaller scale incidents, but really the purpose of the Bronco Alert for parents is to mitigate the questions that might arise should someone see something on social media or a news network that would happen that would require like calling in and or if the website's not updated. So it's the briefest and most current updated information that we have that we would send out to the parent community as quickly as we could. It's just thankfully we haven't had to utilize it just yet.
Okay, and from the student audience, what is the smallest scale item that could go out, just so they have a reference point of like what information their student has access to?
Yeah, so it can be anything from an information bulletin where we are warning of a forecasted air quality issue from the wildfires up north. It could be a safety bulletin where there has been a rash of thefts of maybe bicycles or scooters off campus. Or we are getting information from our police partners or fire department partners of safety information, say like crossing El Camino Real, so a very busy interstate, or how is highway, maybe it's a state highway that crosses the borders of campus. And so any number of those things would go out, not rising to the level of a timely warning or emergency notification, so those larger scale incidents and reminders. So a good kind of quick scope is a timely warning is a close to campus it's going to be impacting campus immediately. And emergency notification is a wider scale, larger regional impact. So an earthquake that's of any number of magnitude that would impact Santa Clara City, County, and even the Bay Area.
Great. Thank you, Tyler. Jake, going back to you, following up on the non-emergency call question, if injured, does a call to campus security result in transportation to the hospital, or should students call 911 for transport to the hospital for a broken ankle, for example?
Yeah, no, just because somebody calls doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be transported. If that's the case, the ankle example, I think the option there would be an option, obviously, for them to go with a friend. Because that's not a life-threatening injury. I think EMT would probably advise, hey, it's okay to be transported by a friend. It also could be okay to be transported by an AMR transport. Is the question related to cost or what? I'm not sure. Is that what the question is related to? Whomever asked it?
I will let them respond in the Q&A if it comes back around. But let's talk about from like an option standpoint. Like, what are the options if that happens?
The student always has the option to decline in that instance. They'll have to sign a waiver if it's against medical advice. If somebody's recommending that they go via ambulance, but that's always their option. So that's not an issue.
And then do we provide any transport if requested from our service perspective?
We don't provide at Campus Safety. We don't provide transport to the hospital. The only time we would ever provide transport would be in a voluntary mental health crisis where someone had voluntarily said, I want to go to the hospital, and we would work with the CAPS group to facilitate that ride. That's
Okay.
the only time we would ever transport.
Great. And last question that we have so far just says, if someone calls 911, is there not an automatic call to you all? Like 911 doesn't call you to inform you?
Yeah, generally the process would be that they inform us at some point. But if it is really a serious issue that's happening, obviously a lot of their energy and their investment in that moment is going to be going towards solving that problem. And so we won't necessarily get that information right away, them circling back to us because they might be fielding calls or they might be doing other things that are associated with effectively dispatching that call. So that's how Santa Clara PD does it. The good thing to know about calling 911 at Santa Clara PD would be they're a PD and fire resource. So they answer all of those calls, and they answer with a live voice. There's not the city of Santa Clara is not a municipality that routes you through a tree. They don't say, call 911 or call a non-emergency number and start giving you the phone tree. You speak to a live voice. So that's one of the advantages of talking to Santa Clara is there's very personal service. And they take a lot of pride in that. So yeah, eventually we generally get told, but sometimes not. Sometimes we don't. So that's why I'm saying if there's an opportunity for someone in that situation to loop Campus Safety in, that's a great thing. But if not, that's okay too. I mean, we'll figure it out at some point. The most important thing is to address the emergency that's happening and the best, and to get resources to that emergency, especially if it's involving a student.
Great. Thanks, Jake. Just want to remind all of our attendees that you do have the opportunity to continue asking questions through the Q&A, through the chat, come off mute, whatever you fancy. If nothing comes up, I would just ask the hosts, our CSS team, to share one last piece of information that you think would be beneficial for parents and family members to know from your respective areas.
You want to go first, Leah? Sure. So I think most of you guys are just parents of, or I'm assuming parents of first-year students. So just making sure that you guys are aware that, we do deter first years from parking on campus, but this is not a make or break situation. There is always the opportunity to apply for that hardship permit. As I discussed earlier, I'll make sure that the link is included in my PowerPoint presentation, as well as our first year undergraduate parking policies.
Thanks, Leah.
For me, I would just be it would just be to Santa Clara is a special place, and it's made more special by the people that are here, students, faculty, staff. So I would just encourage you to encourage your students to go ahead and get to know our staff as we're out there and we're interacting with you in your res halls or at Benson where students eat. Or anywhere on campus, getting to know our campus safety staff is an important thing, I think, because we are a resource and we are committed to supporting and servicing your students. So thank you for your attention today.
Yeah, Jake said it perfectly. We are a resource from parking and transportation to campus safety and then emergency planning. I think what I've noticed in my over a decade of being at the university is that the community is very tight knit, even though it is a medium-sized campus in a relatively medium-sized city. Um, the communication between departments is fantastic. And for me, trying to be in the business of knowing about things and working in the background with all our partners across campus to make sure that the living and learning experience is seamless and is as safe as possible on campus. Like Jake said, it's a beautiful campus. So we want to make sure to keep it that way and for it to be reflective of the Jesuit values, but also just to make sure that for the parents that are either local or across the country, that you are also in a mindset that you know that we are doing everything in our power, the best that we can to keep your loved ones safe. So again, thank you for attending, and please do reach out with any additional questions.
Couple more questions came in. First one is for Leah. Could you give an examples of hardship parking that typically get approved or not approved?
Yeah, I'll talk about what may qualify for an approval, and that would be just maybe the student has an off-campus job or medical appointments off campus, you know, that they frequently need to attend. And so that might be an example of an approval, and we will ask for documentation regarding those items. So just so you guys are aware. Something that might not be approved would be just a generic response. Hey, I just want to be able to bring my vehicle on campus. We might ask some more clarifying questions. Well, what is the need? What exactly is the hardship, so that we can understand the student situation?
Great, thank you. And then Jake, regarding escort services, is it student staff on your team that provides those services, or is it provided by professional adult staff members?
Yeah, another good question. So if you were to call campus safety and our dispatch and just ask for an escort, it would be a staff member from campus safety. So that'd be one of our staff members here. If you were to call Safe Walk, that's a student-led initiative, and that would be a student who would be responding to that. Campus safety has involvement in both, in the sense that we support the Safe Walk program. We obviously, run the other program because it's our staff. So we're involved in both, but one is student-led, one is campus safety-led.
Great. If that's it for questions, we'll give you your 10 minutes back of your time. If you have any questions specific to campus safety, can they email campussafety@su.edu or give them a call?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you have any general questions about the university that you don't know who to go to, please feel free to email myself or my team at parents@su.edu. I will drop both of those into the chat. In a couple of days, once this video processes and we're able to upload it to our YouTube channel, I will send out a link to this webinar in case you want to review it, as well as include our presenter slides for those who do want to share. And that is it. Until next time, thank you to all of you, and thank you to our CSS team for joining us today.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.